Most civilizations are born of rivers, but the Yucatan was shaped by absence. No great surface currents carve this land, no mountain chains anchor it. Instead, the peninsula rests upon a vast limestone expanse, porous, fragile, and secret. Here, the rain does not flow. It vanishes, filtering through the stone to re-emerge in hidden chambers of light. This geological fact shaped everything. Upon this hollow earth, one of the most sophisticated civilizations in the pre-Columbian Americas rose to prominence. Without metal tools, without draft animals, and without a single river, the Maya built a world defined by a mastery of mathematics and astronomy that still challenges the modern mind. Welcome to the Yucatan. Long before the arrival of Europeans in the 16th century, the Maya had built vast urban centers across what is now southern Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, and Honduras. By 450 CE, cities like Chichén Itzá had begun to rise. At its height, the city may have housed tens of thousands of inhabitants, traders, astronomers, artisans, farmers. Its most iconic structure, El Castillo, is not simply an architectural achievement. It is a stone calendar. Each of its 4 staircases contains 91 steps. Together with the platform at the summit, they total 365, mirroring the days of the solar year. The geometry extends even further. The pyramid's 4 sides divide the horizon into cardinal directions, anchoring the monument to the movement of the sun across the sky. For the Maya, architecture was not separate from astronomy. Cities were designed as reflections of cosmic order. Time was not abstract. It was measured in stone, aligned with the heavens, and built into the landscape. But Chichén Itzá was not isolated. It was connected, economically and culturally, to central Mexico and the wider Mesoamerican world. Obsidian traveled here from distant volcanic regions. Maritime trade flourished along the Caribbean coast. The Maya collapse, still debated, was not a sudden disappearance, but a transformation. Political systems fractured, populations shifted. Drought likely played a role, yet the Maya did not vanish. Today, more than 800,000 people across the peninsula still speak Yucatec Maya. Ancient knowledge continues in everyday life. In rural communities, farmers still cultivate the milpa, a traditional system where maize, beans, and squash grow together in rotating forest fields. The practice restores the soil, sustains biodiversity, and reflects centuries of ecological wisdom. The genius of the Maya did not emerge in isolation. Stone made their monuments possible. Water made their civilization possible. Beneath the forests of the Yucatan lies a hidden architecture as vast as any city built above it. This peninsula rests on a platform of limestone, porous and soluble. Over thousands of years, rainwater seeped into the rock, dissolving it from within. Caverns formed, subterranean rivers expanded, entire ceilings collapsed. What emerged were cenotes, windows into one of the largest underground freshwater systems in the world. In a land without surface rivers, these openings determined survival. They provided drinking water. They sustained maize cultivation. They shaped where settlements could endure. But cenotes were never merely reservoirs. To the Maya, they were thresholds, portals to Xibalba, the underworld. Archaeologists have recovered jade ornaments, ceramic vessels, and even wooden scepters, offerings made in times of drought and uncertainty. Ritual and resource converged. Water was sustenance. Water was supplication. In our time, these hidden vaults draw a new generation of travelers, seeking beauty in the cobalt stillness of the Yucatan. Yet the geology that once enabled civilization now presents a quiet vulnerability. Because limestone is permeable, what enters the ground travels quickly. Rapid development across the peninsula, expanding resorts, new roads, and growing residential districts places increasing pressure on the aquifer below. The cenotes remain breathtaking, but they are also finite. In the Yucatan, water has always shaped destiny, silently, persistently beneath the surface. Yet it does not remain confined below. It rises, it seeps outward, it gathers in wetlands and lagoons where forest meets sea. Along the Caribbean coast, this hydrology reveals itself in one of the most biodiverse regions in Mesoamerica. South of Tulum lies the Sian Ka'an Biosphere Reserve, a vast mosaic of mangroves, freshwater lagoons, coral reefs, and coastal dunes. In Yucatec Maya, Sian Ka'an means origin of the sky, an apt name for a place where horizon and water seem to dissolve into one another. Here, underground rivers surface and merge with the Caribbean. Mangroves anchor shorelines against erosion and storms, their roots forming intricate nurseries for marine life. For centuries, Maya communities navigated this labyrinth of water, carving canals to guide flow without disrupting its rhythm. Today, Sian Ka'an is protected as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Yet protection does not mean permanence. Rising sea temperatures stress coral reefs. Coastal development along the Riviera Maya increases pressure on wetlands that function as natural buffers against hurricanes. In the Yucatan, water connects everything: jungle, reef, city, and sea, and its balance is increasingly tested. Further south, near the border with Belize, water assumes another form. Bacalar's lagoon stretches more than 40 kilometers, its shades shifting from pale turquoise to deep indigo depending on depth and light. The colors are not illusion. They are the result of mineral composition, sandy bottom gradients, and extraordinary clarity. Along its edges grow stromatolites, layered microbial formations among the oldest life forms on Earth. These living structures resemble stone, yet they are biological communities that helped oxygenate the planet billions of years ago. The town itself was once a Maya settlement, later fortified by the Spanish to defend against pirate incursions in the Caribbean trade routes. Presently, it is emerging as a new frontier of tourism. Boutique hotels line portions of the lagoon. Kayaks glide across still water. Travelers arrive seeking tranquility. But clarity can cloud. Motorized boats stir sediment. Inadequate wastewater management threatens nutrient balance. The lagoon's beauty depends on restraint. Bacalar embodies a recurring tension in the peninsula. Visibility brings prosperity and pressure. From protected wetlands, the coastline begins to rise. Mangroves give way to cliffs, jungle opens toward the sea. Above the Caribbean horizon, stone once met water in a different way. Tulum. Along the coast, Tulum rises on limestone cliffs overlooking turquoise water. Unlike the great inland cities of the classic Maya, Tulum flourished later, between the 13th and 15th centuries, as a fortified port city. From here, maritime trade routes connected the Yucatan to Central America and beyond. Canoes once approached these shores carrying jade, obsidian, cacao, and textiles. In recent decades, Tulum has undergone another transformation. Once a quiet coastal ruin, visited mainly by backpackers, it has become one of Mexico's fastest-growing tourism destinations. Eco-conscious architecture blends with luxury branding. Yoga studios stand beside ancient stone walls. International investment flows steadily into condominiums carved from former jungle. Tulum embodies both aspiration and strain. Its allure lies in the promise of untouched nature. Yet rapid development tests the very ecosystems that make the place ethereal, particularly the underground aquifer on which the region depends. The question is not whether Tulum will grow. It is whether growth can be guided with care, allowing communities, planners, and visitors to protect the forests, reefs, and waters that sustain life. Tulum stands at a threshold. Its ruins speak of maritime trade and cosmology. Its hotels speak of global aspiration. Jungle and concrete meet above a limestone bedrock that remembers everything. And the choices made here may determine whether prosperity and preservation can move forward together. But Tulum was not the beginning of modern transformation. Further north, another city was conceived not gradually, but deliberately. In 1970, Cancun was little more than a quiet fishing settlement bordered by mangroves and shallow lagoons. What followed became one of Latin America's most ambitious tourism experiments. Backed by federal planning and international financing, Cancun was envisioned as a purpose-built resort city. Infrastructure came first. Airports, highways, water systems. Then the hotel zone rose along the slender strip of sand between lagoon and sea. Tourism here was not accidental. It was engineered. And in time, the model would reshape the entire Caribbean coast of Mexico. Unlike Tulum's gradual evolution, Cancun was designed from the outset to host the world. Its beaches were not simply discovered, they were carefully marketed. Today, Cancun stands among the most visited destinations in the Caribbean, an economic engine that transformed the state of Quintana Roo and repositioned the Yucatan Peninsula in the global imagination. Yet its success raises enduring questions. What happens when paradise becomes industry? How does scale alter coastal ecosystems? And can thoughtful planning protect the landscapes that made this place extraordinary? Inland, far from the surf and hotel corridors of the Caribbean, another Yucatan emerges. There lies Merida, the cultural capital of the peninsula. Founded upon the remains of the ancient Maya city of To, Merida reflects centuries layered upon one another. Colonial facades line broad plazas. Cathedrals rise from stones once shaped by Maya hands. The peninsula's rhythms feel older here, slower, a place where history isn't merely preserved in monuments, but lived through daily habit and local tongue. Yucatec Maya remains a vibrant vernacular, while culinary traditions seamlessly marry indigenous ingredients with European technique. Unlike Cancun, Merida did not emerge from a development blueprint. It evolved through the wealth of the green gold henequen boom, an era built on the hardy agave fibers that once tied the world's trade together. Driven by this prosperity, regional autonomy, and a robust civic life, the city feels less like a resort and more like a society. Merida reflects the Yucatan beyond the coastline, a story of community, continuity, and cultural persistence. Across jungle and limestone, a new corridor is now being carved through the peninsula. The Tren Maya is one of Mexico's most ambitious contemporary infrastructure projects, designed to connect archaeological zones, interior towns, industrial centers, and coastal resorts. Its promise is integration, economic opportunity extending beyond the shoreline. Its critics warn of ecological fragmentation, aquifer vulnerability, and the irreversible alteration of forest systems resting atop fragile karst geology. Railways have always done more than transport people. They redraw maps. They determine where growth will occur. For the Yucatan Peninsula, the question is not whether development will continue, but how deeply this new infrastructure will shape its next chapter. Beneath every city, lagoon, and forest lies porous stone. The Yucatan Peninsula is a vast limestone platform, a landscape without surface rivers where water moves invisibly through underground channels and cenotes. Civilizations adapted to this geology. Tourism markets its beauty. Infrastructure now accelerates its transformation. From ancient maritime traders to modern planners, each era has interpreted this landscape according to its ambitions. The peninsula has endured cycles of flourishing, collapse, and reinvention before, though never at the speed seen today. Yet the future of the Yucatan is not predetermined. It will depend on whether development can move with the same intelligence that once allowed civilizations to thrive here, reading the limits of the land, respecting the quiet systems beneath it. The question is no longer whether change will come. It is whether that change can be guided, so that a landscape of luminous cenotes, ancient forests, coral shores, and living Maya culture remains as remarkable for the centuries ahead as it has been for the centuries behind. If our journey through landscape, history, and transformation has resonated with you, we invite you to continue exploring the world with us here at Athena World Journey. We are truly honored to have you as part of our community. Thanks for watching.